the longest partner I've been with, Pilot, we were very close for quite a while, even though we were always long distance. But in the last couple of years, mainly since COVID, because the long distance has been difficult, and also because her husband moved to be with her, and it just makes things a little bit more challenging. Like I can stay in the house with them. I have stayed there overnight, but it's just he and I are different people, and so it just became easier not to stay there. But it means that things with Pilot have kind of I think they've moved down a level. We're still together. We're still close on a fundamental level, but we don't interact as much as we used to. We had one really, really nice evening, and it was lovely. It was really good to reconnect. But I also, I miss what we had. I miss that, I miss the wild, passionate sex we used to have. We haven't been sexual since just before COVID. It was actually, I was flying to Europe, and she messaged me just before I got there last year. And she said, just so you know, things have changed a bit and stuff has to be more platonic. And I thought she was breaking up with me. So I asked her, I said, are we together or not? And she's like, oh, of course we are. And I was like, well, what? But what about that message? She said, oh no, I literally meant we can't be too sexual because of my husband's restrictions. And I was like, oh, that's fine. I have plenty of people I'm sexual with, including in Winnipeg. And so what he said to me though was I really, really cared about being in a relationship with her. I cared about that way more than I cared about being sexual with her. I really wanted her in my life. I kind of describe her as my rock. Because I've been with her a very long time, and also she just was the first person who really saw who I was, and really had deep insights into me, and also didn't judge. And so the thought that we might not be together was quite devastating to me. And so after talking, she was quite happy with us being together, and I'm like, cool. So we have been together. I think a different challenge is my transitioning. So when I transitioned from male to female, she found that very difficult, and that has been a source of some tension, I think, for her. And so I think that's probably related to us not being so sexual, but we're still together, and I'm quite happy to be together, even as it's more complicated. All my other partners are trans of some variety or other. I have non-binary partners. I have people who've undergone all kinds of different gender bending stuff, which is something I really love. I really love mixing up the gender stuff. And Pilot is a married straight woman, and she identified as straight. And so me transitioning meant suddenly she had to kind of she had to undergo this change in status that she had nothing to do with, right? She didn't want this or ask for this or have any say in it, and nor should she. That was my business, not hers. But me changing something about myself fundamentally changed something about her. So suddenly she, a straight woman, now has a girlfriend, even though it's still the same person. So that's complicated. It made things complicated for me too, because I was like, is this my gayest relationship? My married straight woman? I don't understand what straight or gay is anymore. Makes no sense to me now. And so, it threw a lot of things in the works. On the other hand, I had several breakups when I transitioned, and she's the only one who actually stuck around. So I was very grateful for that, because it was a very precarious time for me. And so I think where things are now, having now, gone through kind of how do we reconnect post-transition, and then having seen her again, I'm quite happy where things are. I don't foresee us breaking up anytime, but I'm also I do miss what we had. I really kind of mourn that a little, even as I sort of feel that was a symbol of the older me, right? I think there's a bit of a mourning that's happening for me, about things lost, even as the person is still there.